you won't be the chief then.
That's true.
Ready for that I'm glad that he was able to.
I hate to say that. I was thinking the same thing, but I don't like to say it out loud.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, I absolutely. I want to do that.
Absolutely. Where's that kind of vodka?
You're acting like a short timer now.
It's a good thing me hadn't started yet.
He doesn't come often, but he's well spoken when he shows up.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to come down, please, in the audience there. It's Newman City Council and Redevelopment Agency meeting of March 25th, 2008. Please stand for the pledge and the invocation. Our heads. Thank you for allowing us to meet this evening. Please allow myself and my colleagues to make the right decisions for the citizens of Newman. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Kane? Councilmember Kelly?
Present.
Councilmember Finkel?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Martinez?
Present.
Mayor Panazia?
Present. Declarations of conflicts of interest. I believe I have one this evening on the zone change on Hardin Road, only because I live within 500 feet. You live within 500 feet or not?
That's a good question, whether I'm within 500 feet or not.
I think you had to leave last time also, didn't you, Mike?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, duly noted then. No ceremonial matters. Items from the public, non-agenda items. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring before us as not on tonight's posted agenda? Seeing nothing, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Waive all readings of ordinances and resolutions except by title, approval of warrants, and approval of minutes of the March 11th, 2008, and March 11th and March 18th special meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent calendar is approved. Public hearings, we have 3 this evening. The first one is second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2008, next to number, an ordinance establishing new water and wastewater rates.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, we're asking the council to conduct a public hearing regarding the proposed ordinance changes to Title 11, and that's for the water and sewer rate increases. As the council knows, back in December, we mailed out approximately 3,000 notices to our utility customers and to the property owners. I know the Prop 218 vote for utility rate increases as required by state law. We received 121 protests, which accounted for roughly 4% of the entire vote. We needed 50 plus 1 in order to have a protest be successful. So tonight we are asking as the final step is to go ahead and conduct the public hearing for the ordinance amendment, and then also conduct a second reading and adopt the ordinance as written.
Okay, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Would anybody like to comment on our rate increases? See no one, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to the council, and I guess we need to also waive the whole reading of the ordinance.
You do
Palmer?
that in the consent calendar
Okay,
now. So
okay, very good.
just a motion to adopt.
If there's, is there any discussion, questions? If not, a motion?
I make a motion to adopt.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Our second public hearing is consider for approval the Stanislaus County Annual Action Plan for fiscal year 08-09 and close the 30-day public comment period.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The City of Newman is part of a 6-member CDBG consortium that's led by Stanislaus County. On February 12th, the draft annual action plan was released for a minimum 30-day public comment period. Every year, the consortium must adopt an annual action plan in order to receive CDBG funds for its projects. As of today, staff hasn't received any comments regarding the annual action plan. Today, staff's requesting that the council hold a public hearing, close the 30-day comment period, and approve the annual action plan. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions before I open the public hearing? Okay, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Would anybody like to comment? Seeing no one, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back for action.
I make a motion that we approve the Stanislaus County Annual Action Plan for fiscal year 809, or 2008 and 2009, and close the 30-day public comment period. I guess I don't need that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, Stephanie. And our third public hearing this evening is introduction of ordinance. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Your deal, big guy.
You guys gonna be out there a long time. Here we go. C is a public hearing matter, introduction of ordinance number 2008, next number. An ordinance adopting zone change number 2007-02 Hardin Road.
Good evening again. Tonight, staff is presenting zone change 2007-02 for your review and decision. The applicant has applied for a vesting tentative tract map and zone change for a 23-unit project located on Hardin Road, approximately 60 feet south of Stevens Avenue. Why? Trying to make the slide go. How do I make it go? Thank you. On March 20th, the Planning Commission held a public hearing for those items and approved the vesting tentative tract map with a 3-to-1 vote and recommended the zone change to council with a 4-to-0 vote. One of our planning commissioners was absent that night. The project consists of a 23-unit, they're all 3 bedrooms. Of those 23 units, 3 will be designated as affordable. The 3 affordable units will not be any different than the other 20 units. They will be mixed in, randomly. The remaining 20 units will be market rate, and the entire project will be managed by an on-site manager. The project meets all municipal code requirements and has adequate open spaces, actually exceeded the open space requirement. The project design has been approved by the Architectural Review Committee and is an attractive complex. The applicant has provided upgrades such as tile roofing throughout and granite countertops for its residents. The site plan identifies, I'll use the pointer here, all units abutting single-family residences will be single-story, so that way it provides privacy for the neighbors. And all the units facing Hardin Road will be 2-story, which actually kind of gives a nice buffer, helps provide, a nice change. The project is compatible with the neighborhood. It's consistent with the general plan designation of medium density. Staff recommends approval of zone change 0702. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Steph, the only question I have, did you do a background check on these people, just like you did on the other one?
We are aware of projects that they've done in Los Banos, and I believe that it's all been satisfactory based on what I have heard. So,
Okay.
yeah. I believe 5 projects in Los Banos.
Yes, either 4 or 5, I'm not sure. The applicant's here and he can respond to that.
Good,
How many different
good.
projects he has there.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions by the council? This being a public hearing, I would like to open it to the public at this time for any comments. There being none, I'll bring it back to the council for motion.
I move to approve an introduction of ordinance number 2008, next number ordinance approving zone change number 2007-02 Hardin Road.
I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion's carried 3-0. Two abstain.
Thank you.
Thank you. I guess we can let them come back in. Mike, quick question. How close does that come then to what we owe the state?
With the new affordable housing project that's coming in
Those
behind
2 together.
those 2, we're working with Valley Manor Apartments to make sure that we are included on that list, as well as West Side Apartments. We're getting very close. Very
Good,
close.
good.
So. And part of that is if we can count West Side Apartments and Valley Manor and get those covenants in our name, those are already existing units. And, you know, I'm not really sure why those didn't get done originally, but, and the self-help project as well over on Prince Road. So we need to go back and make sure that we're afforded the units that were already promised us, and we get to count those. So we're doing some paperwork to make sure that those get done.
Good, good.
Chief, me and Mike were going to work out back there, but the weights were too high in the new machine.
It's too low, you mean?
We couldn't find the forklift.
Okay, regular business. Report on new role for council members in the audit process.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Beginning in the fiscal year 2008, there is a new rule for auditors. It's SAS 114. What it requires is that a council member now oversees the audit process. So what I need tonight is one of you to volunteer. What it consists of is basically you just have to communicate with the auditor, and basically we just need you for 3 meetings. The first would be the initial meeting before the auditor came to go over the time frame and what they expect of us. That way, what you're basically doing is overlooking what management is doing. The second meeting would be when the auditor presents us with significant findings. So if they find any problems, you would have to be present. They would not only notify us, but you at the same time. And then the third and final meeting would be the exit interview, when they just tell us, you know, what to expect, when to expect the audits being done, when they'll present it at the council meeting, any other findings minor that they may have found, and they'll go over the management letter with us then. So tonight I need somebody to volunteer.
I volunteered, Ted.
Yeah, I would like to nominate Ted.
I'm the wrong guy with figures, are you kidding?
Yeah, but we're going to let Sonny's going to have the calculator. You're just going to be there.
Ted, thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
volunteering.
Ted. Oh, no.
That's nice of you.
Oh, no.
I support your
Good,
nomination
good.
that Ted-
Democratic process.
What's the chief doing in a couple months?
Has to be a council member. Has to be a council member by law, Ted.
How many times does it meet?
3 times.
God, that many?
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Ted.
That was nice
Thanks,
of you.
Ted.
Ted, appreciate it.
Oh, do you?
Well, I even buy donuts for you.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. You wait till you see the next one.
Item B, report on the city council travel budget.
Yeah, thanks for backing me up, buddy. And you too,
Thank you, Mayor. This item has been brought before the council's attention. Currently, the city council travel expenses is over budgeted by $711. And there has been requests to go to an executive forum meeting. And so we just want to make sure that the council authorizes the increased expenditure so we can make sure that we make the journal entries as appropriate. So we're just asking for the council for direction on this matter.
Also, I have some bills to turn in from DC. I paid for my own hotel and some other things that I need to turn in at the next meeting, so. Discussion?
Yeah. I'm surprised we're over budget by $711, but by the same token, I think there's only 2 meetings a year, the annual meeting and the mayor's and the city council conference. I think it's important as council members that we attend some of these functions, some of these trainings. There's some good workshops, and I found last year when I went to the annual conference, I really thought I benefited from that. The annual mayors and council member conference is good as well. I mistakenly went to the new member council conference this year in Sacramento, and that's probably one that none of us need to go to since we've all attended that one, and then I found that was pretty repetitious, so, and I didn't expect that, but I feel that the general mayor council conference is good and the annual conference is good, so I'm not sure how the rest of you feel, but I think I really benefited as a council member, and I think it's a benefit to the community that we attend these and try to stay on top of what's going on, so that's just my personal opinion.
Mike, why are we over budget? What happened? I mean, I mean, we're spending more now than we did in the past?
That, I don't know. I don't have all the exact ones. The mayor attends our meetings, and he's entitled to be reimbursed for
Guarantee it,
mileage.
yeah.
I know that did the first time city council members conference at the beginning of the year. There was that one that went involved with it, but I don't recall the final ones that we had all gone to. But we just checked it over, and there were $711 over. So I just wanted to bring it to the council's attention and get your direction on that. So if you want, we can provide that list later, what the final count was.
I'm just, wonder why. Has this happened in the past, John? Has this happened?
I think it did,
every
yeah,
year,
it
is it-
happened. I
does
think
it
we always
get-
go over every year
Okay.
a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what. Well, that's
That's
a
true,
good
too.
point,
And
too,
that's it.
Dave.
The rates go up, the hotel fees go
Yeah.
up,
They were
and those types of things. So
The,
Airfare.
Mileage-
Airfare.
mileage
We had to
goes
take
up.
Greyhound.
the executive forum, that's the next fiscal year, but it has to be paid in this fiscal year. Is that what it is, the
I
registration?
believe it's in June.
It's in June this year?
Yeah.
Okay. I know they moved it, the other one was in Monterey in July, but,
And then I think
Yeah. oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if
June
we
4th.
had appropriated additional money, the actual travel account was cut in half during the fiscal year because of the examples council was setting for other budget constraints, so that might.
That added to it, too, then.
I would think, cover the, I think what's throwing it overboard too is this was always in July. The executive, so it always, now we had two executives pretty much in this fiscal year. They
I
moved
think
the
Monterey
date.
was in July.
It was in
last
July last year. I think
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of affects it too, so. I would say, do like we're doing, appropriate up to the, the fiscal year, and we'll have to revisit it next fiscal year and maybe put some more money into it.
Well,
That would be my,
Well, I'm looking for two things. One, just kind of a show of who would like to go, because tomorrow we're making reservations. Because we want to make sure that you get the appropriate, the conference hotel, so you're not staying off-site. That always, it makes it difficult when you have to stay off-site. So we know who's going, and then we can make the appropriate budget adjustments.
Well, I had emailed Mike, and I think that's what kind of may have triggered, when we started looking into it. That I intended on going to the executive and the annual conference in September as well, so.
I would say, yeah, you can book me. And if I can't make it, there's always you got like so many days to cancel and not lose anything, so go ahead and book me.
Me too, Mike. I think that's the better one, to be honest.
No, I don't think so.
Mike?
No, I will not be attending.
Okay. Need any other direction, Mike? Or?
No.
Okay.
Actually, we probably should take a vote, because it is actually technically a budget adjustment.
Okay, we have a motion to adjust the budget to fund these travel expenses the rest of this fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tim. C, approve request from Newman Fun Run Committee to hold fundraising benefit event for the Newman Fun Run. And I apologize for just getting the flyer. Just came off the press at 6 o'clock, so. I always try to keep things local, and it took a little longer to get it done, but I think it looks very nice.
Mayor, members of the City Council, this is a staff report on the Newman Fun Run for 2008. This is a request from the Newman Fun Run Committee to hold the 11th annual Newman Fun Run. And this year, the organizers are requesting that we return to their traditional date of Sunday during the Memorial Day weekend, which will be Sunday, May 25th. Last year, the date was changed to coincide with the Modesto's Graffiti Night. Over the years, the fundraising event has raised thousands of dollars, which has been donated to local charities and community-based causes. Last year's proceeds benefited the family of Bailey Rocha. This year, the proceeds will benefit the Newman Police Department K-9 program. Checking with other community events, there's no conflict with other scheduled community events at this time. And the organizers' requests this year are in line with last year's event, which was a successful event. And the event organizers are seeking council approval for this year's event. If you want, I can go through each one of the items, or I can just open it up for a question and answer. I do have a, on the back page, under request from the Fun Run Committee, it goes from item 4 to item 6, and item 5 I omitted, my apologies. And this is a request from the Fun Run Committee that the business license requirement be waived for vendors for the one-day event. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Comments? The show's going to the dogs.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully so, exactly.
One comment, this has always been a very good event for the city of Newman, getting people in town, promoting the town, benefiting the town. So I'm all in favor of it.
Same way, people come up and told me they really look forward to this, so excellent.
Yeah, and if I may, last year I was only here for a month when I was, my first exposure to New.
Your first event, Jerry.
Yes, it was. And it is. It's a great community event. It's a large turnout, and the community really appreciates it. And again, it's one of those things that solidifies that small town, hometown feel that Newman is able to capture. This and the Fall Festival.
If there's no further questions, some direction?
I would move to approve the request of the Newman Fun Run Committee.
Second that motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Item 11, items from the city manager and staff.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Oh, do we have some folks that wanted to,
Yeah, they're here. You want to
we had some folks that wanted to comment during public participation, and they were a little late. Sir, if you'd like to come up at this time, just state your name and address. And
My name is Kirk Jensen. I live at 2237 Spring Court, and this has to do with the Community Services Officer. I spoke on it at the last meeting. I have some notices here. They're talking about a Chevy Nomad that's in my driveway. I have moved that vehicle. They were saying that because it was parked under the dirt, it was considered abandoned. I have gone through the town. I don't have any addresses because that's not part of who I am, but there's, they cleaned a lot of stuff out from the side of my house. My grandchildren's bicycles, house paint, gear oil for my truck, fertilizer for my plants, tan bark for my garden. I'm not sure what else is missing. I would like to get a list of these things that were taken. I don't know how to do that. I've attempted to contact the chief a couple of times, but I haven't returned a call. I guess his schedule is really busy. I went in today and they asked me to wait. I've recently been in a motorcycle accident and I wasn't able to sit there long enough to have a chance to speak with him today. I'm sure that we'll be able to get that together. Mr. Keaton remembers why it was that the vehicles were put in my backyard. When he was an officer, we had a neighbor complaining about the fact that I had vehicles in front of my house and she had to look at them. The houses this lady had purchased had always looked at my driveway, and she put up an illegal fence, and that apparently stopped her from complaining until she moved. I would like to get the vehicles out of my backyard. I'm in the process of doing this. It's not something that I can do overnight. The vehicles in my front yard, it's all the vehicles are legal, registered, running, and I'm doing my part to get them out of there as quickly as I can. But you know, having somebody come and you know, I just thought it was a little much when my grandchildren's bicycles were taken, and the paint that I was going to use on the inside of my house. Now I have to go out and buy more paint. When I went to the place where this had been taken from, Joe's Landscape, he had told me that the stuff that they had taken was still there. All that was left was some cardboard that they had taken off the ground. I went back 2 weeks later, there was a boat fuel tank that it was filled with two-stroke fuel oil, and that was there, but at this point it had been filled with diesel, so they had used that. I'm not sure what else out of the stuff they took didn't make it to the dumps that actually made it to somebody's house. These were 2 nice bicycles and 15 gallons of house paint, Sherwin-Williams house paint, brand new in the 5-gallon jugs. The dumps won't take this kind of material. I think it's wrong that the only way they can see the stuff at my house is to drive up to my house and look down my yard. I have driven past many houses where you can see the mess from alongside the street, and these houses haven't been abated yet. You know, and I'm not one to throw stones, because yes, I do have on my block, I have a little bit of a mess. I'm doing my best to clean it up as best I can. Right now, I'm extremely disabled. I'm disabled to start with, but I was involved in a hit-and-run motorcycle accident, and I've just gotten out of the hospital from that, and I'm trying to take care of this, but I can't afford to hire somebody to come and do all this stuff for me. So I would like to, if there's some way that we can speak with the abatement officer and have him give me a little leeway on this, I will clean this up. And, you know, I'm doing my part to be involved in this. They said to come down and talk to the city council about this. So here I am. I'm asking if I can get a little bit of time on this, while there's plenty of other people who have boats in their yards and cement mixers in their yards and half a truck and stacks of bricks and these things that are eyesores and safety hazards. You know, there was a house behind me that was abandoned that had a pool half full of water. And I think that's a safety hazard. But, you know, there's people living there now. That's been taken care of.
Kurt, work with the chief. The whole idea of this thing is compliance. And if you need more time, they're not going to hesitate giving you more time. So work with the chief, and city will work with you to get the goal accomplished.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, set up
for your time.
Set up an appointment with the chief before you leave, and I'm sure he'll be happy to meet with you.
Okay.
Thank you. Staff reports.
Thank you, Mayor. If for those that had cable, I hope you got a chance to see the Day in the Life of Edgar Lopez, which was the CSO video that ran before the meeting. We'll be doing additional videos, and we're starting to brainstorm right now. I think the next one will probably talk about probably the canine program and the dogs, and start getting that involved. Also, if you've been scrolling or watched the scrolling, you'll see a lot more of the ads, if you will, that have the downtown background on them, and we have a lot of our recreational programs up there now. The cleanups that are coming up in April, so we're starting to do a lot more advertisement on that PEG channel, if you will. So for members of the community, keep in touch. We're trying to get as much information as we can and utilize that station as much as we can, either through the scrolling signs and advertisement, and or through the production of videos. So the CSO position, which stands for Community Service Officer, as you know, Edgar Lopez will be going to the academy around the middle of July. It's a 6-month program. We hope that he will be sworn in as a Newman police officer in January of 2009. We will be holding a position for him in order to do that. But we'll be doing the application period is now closed, and we have 7 qualified applicants that we plan to interview, and those interviews will take place on April 2nd. Just a reminder, we have the league division meeting on Thursday, 6 p.m. at McHenry Mansion, for those who had RSVP'd on that. And then 2-on-2 fire with Patterson, April 3rd, 6 p.m. So that's all that I had. If there's any questions of the council that I may answer.
Questions?
Yeah, I had one question, Mike.
Yes, sir.
This might not be directed at you, but I was noticing Sherman Park, some people think that's a golf range. And my concern is there's a lot of young people out there.
Yeah, golfing is actually against the municipal code. Golfing in parks is against the municipal code, and if we see anybody, if our police department sees anybody, we will make them aware of it. Also, we're starting to do some trying to consistently place signs that state the municipal code on there. There's one going up in Barrington, probably this week, I think. We just ordered it last week, and we'll be doing, tomorrow, it sounds like, and then we'll be doing the same thing for the rest of our parks as well. So we'll make sure that gets properly noticed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Other staff reports?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I just have 3 informational items. First off, I wanted to show you some of the tasks that Public Works crews are busy with this time of the year. We're continuing our refurbishment program of all our landscape maintenance areas. This is shows the guys working along Driscoll Avenue. Continue.
That's my house?
No, you can't.
No charge for that.
Are you the one that's throwing stuff over the fence, Ken? Or? I thought so.
Yeah, I got a setback. I got a 10-foot setback.
Jeez.
And so we're pretty much continuing with the same thing that we did last fall. Then we're going to concentrate our efforts on Upper Road from Patchett's Drive down to the South City limits. There we have to replace a automatic drip system, so it's going to be, the work's going to be a little more extensive, putting in an irrigation system. So that's coming up next. Then I also wanted to show you, this is where they started the drilling of our monitoring well out at the wastewater treatment plant. It shows it's just north of the control building over by the effluent structure, and that is so that we can test that well and frequently and ensure that our 50-acre oxidation pond isn't leaking and degrading the quality of the groundwater. So those are the photos I had for you. And then the last item I had is I received a letter from PG&E. They say that over the next few months, the crews are going to be coming in, refurbishing all the street light poles that belong to them. They're going to add a fresh coat of paint, and they're going to hopefully get it completed by the 30th of June. Any questions?
So just explain to the guys, as I drive around, I think they do a great job, maintaining the city, the parks, the downtown area. I mean, they have their hands full, a lot of work, and I think they do a great job. So just extend thanks to them for the job they do.
Sure will. Thank you very much.
I just have 2 things. One, thank you very much for the tree. Ernie, tell people, your crew, that excellent job. It's really nice.
How many trees you got?
Just one. And I'm hoping nobody takes it when there's trash day, but I have no idea. They're killing them, I think. But no, but also at Ranchwood, there's that little alley that goes, and it's a beautiful brick type thing. And there was, I walk through there every morning, and there was graffiti on it. And it just destroyed it. I mean, terrible. Your guys did an excellent job. They sandblasted, I guess.
Yes.
But knocked it, and it's just beautiful, and thank you so much, because that looks so bad. That's terrible.
It was. They did it real.
Nasty people. Right. And you guys just did an excellent job. Again, tell your crew thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Ernie, one quick question. Any word, since you talked about the wastewater treatment plant, any word from the water board about our new pond?
Our project, as far as continuing with it?
I know we sent him a letter here recently.
Yes, the city manager is the one who addressed that letter to them. We're discussing it this afternoon, trying to see what our next step is going to be on that.
We were going to the director, Ken Landau, now to make sure that he put some pressure on the supervisor, because we're not getting any response out of them. Doing everything they want us to do, but yet we can't get any response from them to allow us to keep moving forward. So it's very frustrating on our part. So fortunately for us, members of our engineering team and members of our staff are familiar and have a personal contact in Ken Landau, who oversees that department. And we will be making that phone call and following it up with a letter, trying to get this out of the muckety muck, if you will.
Keep me informed if I need to get involved.
Okay.
The air board's on me right now already about some other issues. So, thank you, Ernie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ernie.
And Councilmember Kelly, if I might, and I'm gonna steal the chief's thunder. We actually caught those kids that did the
You gotta
graffiti.
be kidding.
Chief.
Stole your tree?
They're still there.
No rivets.
That was your number one thing, too.
God,
I'm riveting tonight.
we rehearsed this all afternoon. He was cocky coming up here, and he's going to tell us. No, wonderful job. Seriously.
Yes, and that was as a result of a call from a concerned citizen, and we were able to get units on scene, cut off the escape path, and came across the individuals. And I believe we've already got a call from the probation department on the reimbursement.
To what?
To get our money back that cost us.
Oh, the cover
The
cost.
cleanup costs.
If you don't mind, how old?
It was over $800.
$800, and the kid's young. They probably around 14.
They're juveniles.
Yeah,
Yes, they are.
juvenile type.
And,
What a
you know,
world. Yeah.
and with that, I do want to commend Doug Mendoza, because when that call came out, we called him at home, and he came out right away to make an assessment of the cleanup, if there's anything we could do immediately, or if it could wait till the next day. So he came out on top of that right now, and then started the cleanup process the very next day. So it wasn't on the walls very long.
Oh, no, it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the parents was out of town, and the other parent was called out to the scene, and they were devastated to find out that their child, their angel, was involved in this kind of.
Her angel.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little update on our latest proactive police measure. As you know, in January, we had the probation parole sweeps. In February, we had the arrest warrant sweeps and audits.
Audits, I love it.
This last week, we had audits of all of our sex registrants. We went out and made contact with and located all 17 of the sex registrants. I'm happy to say that they're all registered, living where they're supposed to be registered, and we don't have any outstanding registrants. Even those who weren't home, we left business cards, and they called back immediately to let us know that they were living where they're supposed to live in. There was 2 individuals who are no longer in our community, they've moved on, and another individual who's out of the area going through some type of a rehab program. So all of our sex registrants are accounted for, and the information on Megan's Law is current with our information. So those have been reconciled. And April will also have another audit of that I'll report back at the end of April on the results of that. But all these audits have been very fruitful in the results, and they've obtained the results we're looking for. In this last audit, we went back to a resident that we were looking for back in January, part of the parole probation audit. This individual was on felony probation for drug possessions. And we came across this individual. We threw a stop on her. Her residence was subject to a search. We searched her residence and found 29 grams of crystal meth. Whoa. So she's been booked on felony possession for sales of meth. So again, we're tying these audits and sweeps into one another, and we'll continue to do that as we go into the next month. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Just the
Questions?
audits that I'm going on, right? This is the audits that you guys signed me up for?
Yes, yes. It's all.
I think you'll find your audit a little more boring.
It's all audits, Ted. You are to show up at all audits from now on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
We're gonna do an audit tonight.
Oh, what?
We're gonna do an audit.
Any other staff reports, Sonia? Nothing? I have some council members. Ed?
I have nothing to.
Ted?
Nothing. Thank you.
Nothing?
Nope, it's been a wonderful, it's been good. Everything's
You
moving
got
along.
your tree,
I love
so
it.
you're happy, and that's it.
Tree, but I mean, everything's moving along. I mean, these audits, I love that word. I mean, this is, I
you're-
mean, everything's
council
cleaning
auditor
up,
now, so.
and it's just, town's really coming together, so.
Bob?
No, I have nothing tonight, Mayor.
Nothing? Mike?
Mr. Mayor, My docket also runs silent this
Your
evening.
docket. No audits or anything? Just one question, Mike, has the, our 2-on-2 with Patterson been rescheduled? That was canceled on the 17th?
It has not.
Okay.
I will need to, you tend to be the one with the busiest schedule, so if we could coordinate some dates, or if you could give me some dates, I would forward those.
Yeah, throw me some dates. That was a Monday. Monday seems like they're pretty good, actually.
Okay. Actually,
Except
that-
the first Monday. After that, Mondays are usually open. Just a quick couple thoughts on my DC trip. As usual, it went very well received, as always, by Congressman Cardoza. Our ask is $860,000 to finish up the Orstima studies. So hopefully this time next year, study will be done and we'll be to a plan. That's the plan, and Dennis wants this done before he retires. That's
You think my
his
grandson will
thing,
see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that went well, and I think that was it. Whoever's attending Thursday night, I think you're going to go ahead to the league, Mike. And I think that's all I had. With that, we will adjourn to closed session for public employment consideration. Thank you.
Did you do the proclamation in
Okay.